What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Burning Hammer podcast. I'm Mark Izzo, he's Dylan O'Brien, and we are your hosts. Now, before we get into the meat of the podcast, we wanted to let you know that we will be at South Jersey Geek Fest. Dog is going to be there. We will be on the call for the dog event, and that is April 19th. South Jersey Geek Fest, Summerdale, New Jersey. We better see you there. You better come out to that because it is going to be a night of pro wrestling that you are not going to want to miss.
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. This is going to be incredible. In this instance, it's actually going to be a day of wrestling. It's WrestleMania weekend, and what a better way to spend your WrestleMania Saturday than popping over to South Jersey Geek Fest, catching some wrestling from Dog. Me and Mark are going to be on the call, like we said, and we will be on the call for the foreseeable future for Dog. So this is going to be our introduction into being the new kind of like voice and commentators for Dog, and we're incredibly excited and humbled at the opportunity to call some wrestling on any level. And we're definitely not going to disappoint you guys in that aspect. And Dog is definitely not going to disappoint when it comes to putting on a great event. So, South Jersey Geek Fest, April 19th, Summerdale, New Jersey. Be there, live and in person, to catch some dog wrestling.
That's right, Dylan. Now, why don't we get in a little bit of a T-shirt check here, Dill? Why don't you kick us off with what T-shirt you got on?
Yeah, man, no problem at all. So, the reason I decided to throw this on, I figured I'd just like to stay somewhat on theme for just like what's popping currently in wrestling. I want to stay, even if we're not going to talk much on the podcast about it, just the things that are up to date in wrestling. And obviously a big thing that we talked about a few weeks ago was the Hardys as TNA Tag Team Champions making their return to WWE television and WWE NXT. So this is one of my favorite shirts in my collections, actually. Got the flannel on right here, too, as well, so it's blocking it a little. But the Hardy Boys, No Mercy, Cleveland, Ohio. This is the Homage
Very
Classics
nice.
tee. Super comfortable. Fits very well. Yeah, I would highly recommend a T-shirt of this variety, from the Homage variety. Really, really dope, really comfortable. One of the favorite shirts I own. Got the Hardy Boys. And the reason I say it's so on topic, like I said, with them being on WWE television and NXT, is because the way things are looking in my eyes, Mark, for Stand and Deliver, I'm really feels like we might be getting the Hardy Boys versus Fraxium at Stand and Deliver. For potentially the
Fraxium's getting their lick back.
Yeah, potentially. I'm thinking this time for the NXT titles, and then Fraxium gets the W, maybe. So I definitely in my head that seems like a money match waiting to happen right there. It already happened once, so why not run it back at the biggest show of NXT for the year at Stand and Deliver? So yeah, I got the Hardy Boys classic No Mercy shirt on. One of the favorites in the collection, to be honest with you. What about you, Mark? What are you rocking?
So I'm rocking, I would say, probably my favorite garment that I own, and that's going to be my Kurt Angle football jersey here. You got big old Kurt Angle on the front. Look at that. You got a nice shield there. It's a black jersey. You got nice little American flag and a star hit on the sleeves. And then on the back, we'll see if you can see this, Dylan. You got the "It's true, it's damn true." Let me see if you could probably kind of see it. But, so yeah, this one's awesome. It's like the mesh style too. So it feels like kind of trendy,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like.
That thing is very sick.
And like this is like the thickest print on like a jersey that I've ever had. Like, it's crazy. And this is my favorite, probably my favorite piece that I own in the collection. I don't remember how much I paid for it. I definitely maybe $50 or $60 tops. So I feel like I got a pretty good deal on this thing also, because you look at other
Hell yeah.
jerseys, they're running you a couple hundo, and
No
the
doubt,
Burning
man.
Hammer boys aren't dropping that. So you got to be on the lookout for
Always
those
looking
steals
for the
and
steal.
deals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dylan, we had a couple things happen since the last time that we talked, and I think one of the bigger things was Cody Rhodes and John Cena. They had their first face-to-face moments on Monday Night Raw. I forget where that Raw was specifically from.
Brussels.
'Cause
Belgium, yes.
they're on their tour overseas. So one
Those
of my
crowds are insane, man.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Europe crowds
They're
put
crazy.
us to shame, dude.
just
It
keep
is like-
WWE overseas, man. Let them
It's like
just don't ever
crazy.
come
I'm
back.
just- Yeah,
to
I'm
the
just like
States.
come to Philly a couple times a year so I can watch, and then just stay in Europe because, geez, they really
Yeah.
put us to shame. Like it's
Big time.
it's upsetting that why can't American arenas need to band together. If in a time that the country is so divided, the country needs to come together over one common agreement, and that is we need to be louder as wrestling fans in U.S. arenas. We need to do more chants. We need to have more fun. We just and I'm not even saying, and I'm sure I could partake in it as well, but it's the amount of times that, I mean, we've been to plenty of shows. We're not shy about starting to chant. And
We'll try.
the amount of times that you'll try for 30 seconds and you just won't get anybody with you.
You get nothing.
Sometimes. And
It's
then
brutal.
sometimes, and we've been our fair share of starting a few big ones as well.
It's the
that
best.
do, and it feels really good when
It's
it does
the
happen.
best.
So, I wish everybody was just as excited as the European. I wish everybody in the U.S. crowds were as excited as everybody in the European crowds are. But yeah, Mark, let's continue. The first time we hear from John Cena as a heel.
Yeah. Good stuff. And I know you kind of hit this on the head with
man.
your tweet about how we kind of talked about it. I don't know if we talked about it on the pod, but we definitely talked about it off screen. If Cena, we're getting new gear, getting a new song. I don't remember specifically your tweet, but it was kind of basically exactly what happened. And we got the John Cena, just came out as John Cena. Same music. Booed the absolute hell out of him. He cut a pretty
Never a
interesting
louder
promo.
John Cena sucks song. Sing along, probably.
Yeah.
It's probably the loudest one we've gotten. And his first one as a heel. The first, truly unironic John Cena sucks sing along. It was crazy, man. Yeah, I did give myself some credit. I did kind of hit the nail on the head with that one. A lot of people were calling for potentially a new theme song, potentially some new gear, and I was fully confident that he was going to come out to the same theme song in the same gear, exactly like he did, and that's because everyone on Twitter and everyone, a new song as a heel would have been the cool thing to do. John Cena's been very open that if he was to ever do this and turn heel, that he's doing it, and he's not doing it to be a cool heel and to do all that. I don't know. He's not. John Cena is not looking to be a cool heel. He's going to think of whatever is what does everybody want out of this, and he's going to think what is going to make people the least happy, and that's what he's going to do.
He had a great interview with Chris Van Vliet.
Yeah, it was with
and he talked
CVV.
about it. And there's been a lot of really good edits online with him, that voiceover, and then just what he's doing now. And one of the things he said was to turn heel, he's going to do the opposite of what everybody wants. And so he's going to do the opposite of what everybody thinks. So it's all right, you had everybody saying, oh, let's get a new theme song, new gear. Well, guess what? He's doing the opposite of that.
Yeah, and it was the right call.
Agreed.
It was the right call. It's the right call. new song, new look would have made it way too cool. Would have
And you give
got
people
him
the
over.
chance to like cheer a little bit, also to get
Yeah,
pumped that he's getting new. Like he's
you can't give
becoming
them
someone
anything
new.
else. You cannot give them anything else. You can only take away now. Like
Yeah.
that is, you know what I mean? And the thing is, I have full, complete faith in Cena that it's only going to be better. And as he gets a read on the fans, and as he's, on TV more, because he's going to be on TV more over the next few months, he's really going to get more of a feel of how they're reacting to him and really play off that, because there's probably nobody better ever at doing so, at just like being able to play off of what the crowd is giving them. Cena
Big time.
is, like I said, he's probably the best ever at that. So I think as we get more appearances from Cena, he's only going to get a better grasp of where this heel character is going. So, I saw I saw a few people who were like, yeah, like that wasn't what I thought we were gonna get out of Cena. Like I didn't like how he was kind of whiny, like Cody said he was and stuff. And it's just like, dude, yeah, he's not. He is a heel. If you're like, dude, I can't wait for him to come out and just be a badass and lay into everybody, and he's just like, yeah, then he's not going to do that if that's what everybody wants. Like,
Doing the
he's
opposite.
going to, and yeah, exactly. And I'll let you speak on it some more too, but he really took his time and gave us a full explanation, and like you said, at times it was like, wait, yeah, at times you were feeling a little bit bad for him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
big
Some
time.
people felt worse than others. It didn't make me feel as bad as a lot of other people seemed. Some people were like, dude, I felt like I was about to cry. And I was like, dude, like, I don't know. He was saying all that. And I was, at the same time, I'm like, all right, dude, like, you are still Johnson. Like, you are the most incredibly successful person because of this. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm never going to feel bad for that. Like, I'm never going to feel bad that you're probably going to be a billionaire eventually. Like,
Yeah. Big time.
I'm not going to feel bad about that. So that's personally my take on the scene. And like I said, I love Cena, but in this instance, you're being a heel, I'm booing you. Like, not just because,
100%.
that's what they want me to do. That's the reaction he's getting out of me. He's doing shit that I like to boo.
Yeah. I mean,
so this, and then I'll let you kind of say what you think about it. But this whole, but with that being said, like, I did really, really enjoy it, and it's like, I don't know. I think part of it was supposed to definitely make you feel bad and question yourself, but at the same time, if my reaction was, shut the hell up, dude, that's bullshit, then that's good. That's good. He's a heel. Like, that's good. That's my reaction. I don't know. Like, it's sometimes we get to breaking down as like super fans of what this is. We get into breaking down every little detail when at the end of the day, it's just like, did it piss you off? Did it make you angry? Okay, then he did his job. You know what I mean? Were you upset with the result? Okay, then the heel kind of did his job. And then, of course, we have other instances like Logan Paul, where there's just pieces of shit human beings outside of the ring, which is a different story. But yeah, it was really interesting that we got the whole kind of 20-minute spiel from Cena, and then we get the interruption from Cody, and Cody really pretty much cooked him up. Cody cooked him up on a platter, and then said, I don't want whatever this is, this whiny bitch, don't bring this bitch to WrestleMania, or whatever he said. Threw the mic and dipped. So I'll let you speak on it a little bit. Like I said, people are trying to say that protecting Cody a little bit.
Yeah, we'll get into we'll get into that in a sec because I think overall I really enjoyed this segment. I think it was a really good first
Agreed.
promo off between those two, and it's them not playing their full hand. And,
exactly.
I was watching Cena and I felt a little bad, but I wasn't I wasn't as extreme as some, like you were saying, some people where it was just we did kind of treat him like crap, but I wasn't on his questioning to be on his side.
And it towed that line pretty perfectly in my opinion. I felt bad at times, but at the same time I was pulling myself back going, this is bullshit, dude. You're John Cena. You're the most successful person in WWE history besides The Rock. So what are we doing?
Yeah. And then like you said, working with the crowd was awesome. Just letting them chant
Pointing
under
to the kid, dude.
Dude, was that dude, the one kid, did you see the picture that was dressed just like him?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. And they were just
it was and that kid right there.
There was someone, I think it was on Twitter, but someone tweeted this is the start of that kid's villain arc, the dude in The Incredibles, with the orange hair, whose name I can't.
Oh my gosh, dude, what is his name? I know. Yeah, no, it's a great. Incredibles is a great movie too. I'm upset that I can't remember this off the top of my head.
Syndrome.
Yeah, Syndrome.
Yeah, they were like, this kid's gonna turn into Syndrome.
Well, yeah, did you see the video WWE put out? Because he, right before Cena did that, he was like, I love you!
Oh, really?
The kid screamed that at Cena. Yeah. Cena was like, and that kid right there.
I mean, dude, yeah, it was awesome. Just
I mean,
and
yeah.
it was. I thought he had a pretty funny point where he was like, I'm not going to change the way I look. You guys dress like me. You guys buy my stuff. I'm not changing the way I look.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you're not wrong.
That is pretty funny, actually.
But
he
yeah,
made a lot of great points. No doubt about that.
And that's how you know, good heels always make great points. And again, he was cooking. Also, don't believe that segment went long. Because segments don't go long on Netflix. That's the beauty of it. I know there was a report that came out that said that segment went long. So then, I forget which match it was, but another match had to get cut short a little bit. Don't believe that. I don't buy that for a second.
Yeah, I think that was probably just the plan.
Yeah, especially this is just a reminder not to believe every report that you hear, because they knew obviously, they know the crowds. They're going to give stuff a lot of time, especially the Cena segment.
I think they wanted Jay to squash Theory and get a big win and get some momentum. I think.
Oh, yeah, that was the match.
I think the match obviously didn't go over as smoothly as it would have liked, and it gets magnified when it's that quick of a match. So there's only a few things that happen. So when Cole messes up the call and then Jay botches the suicide dive, it's it gets magnified times 1,000 because they were because it was a short segment to begin with. So,
yeah, and
like I said, I really don't put too much, and we'll. I mean, we can talk about it real quick. This is all I really want to say about it. The Jay spear to Theory that Cole botched the Cole on and called it a crossbody. That was on Cole. That wasn't on Jay. Watch that back. That was a clean spear.
I thought it looked like his normal spear. I don't know what
the angle was a little weird. I can see how it may have looked, but it was a foot. It was a spear. He had. If
got the arm around the midsection.
You can pause it. He had his shoulder, arm around the midsection. It was a spear. He just had his legs out to the side, kind of.
Yeah.
So that it just looked weird, and it was a weird. I think it was just weird from the angle they were at.
Probably.
But still, I mean,
I don't think it looked different from every other Jey Uso spear.
I love Cole, but to me that was so on Cole.
And you have to know he's hitting the spear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
you have to know he's going to hit the spear.
Like I said, I'm giving Cole, like, I'm cutting him some slack because of who he is, but it's like at the same time, it's like, what? He never hits a crossbody.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I don't know. Like, that was.
And even like weekend when we're watching matches, like you feel when the ending is. So like, I
That's
didn't
what I'm
watch that
saying.
live, but
like,
watching it,
he
we
needs
would
to feel that, dude. Like,
we
he
would be
needs
like,
to feel
yeah,
that.
we would be like, he's about to hit the spear when he's running like that. But it's whatever. It's like, just don't blame Jey Uso
Like,
for that because it
he
wasn't his
said
fault.
he said crossbody, and I was like, I think that was a spear. And then he got the 3 count, and then I was like, all right, so it definitely was a spear.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I'm not like bashing Michael Cole for it completely. People mess up all the time, especially like it's like people make mistakes. But that wasn't to say that Jay botched that. I was like, I thought, watch it back, it's a pretty clean spear.
Agreed.
And like, if he said spear, nobody would have said anything. That's my big thing. Like, people are only doing it because he said crossbody. If he said spear, it would have literally never been talked about. So, back to the Cody Cena thing.
So, the idea that WWE was trying to protect Cody Rhodes is so idiotic. Like, it's so hard to put into words how insane that idea is. You have your top guy, right? I think we all could say Cody Rhodes is the guy. He is the number one guy, the top guy in WWE. The fact that you would even think that the company would be scared to put him in a promo battle with John Cena is ridiculous. It's crazy. Like, what? I don't understand that at all. He's one of the best promo guys in the world.
And also, what do you think? John was like, don't let him in there with me, man, or I'm going to wreck him. Like,
yeah.
What are you talking? I don't know. Like,
oh, we can't let Cody and John go back and forth or Cody's going to get cooked. No.
Just like, dude, I think it was just, that's
crazy.
That was the segment. It's just like, why can't people just understand that was the segment? That was, they're going to go back and forth at one point. They will go back and forth. Don't worry. It's going to happen. They're not just going to avoid them talking. Like, that's not what they're doing. That's the most, like, it's to the point where it's like, I don't even, It's like, should we even talk about it that much? It's so stupid.
And it's just like, it goes back to, it's just them not playing their cards too early.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to get that back and forth.
That was just the segment.
That's all it is.
Like, the plan for the segment was obviously for Cody to kind of get one over there.
And he did.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, that, it's just like, people are just like impatient, and it's just when things happen the way that people weren't expecting them to or didn't want them to happen, they just like freak out. People just like paint this idea in their head of the way that stories and builds are going, like to a T, to we're going to get a war of the words back and forth between Cody and Cena, to the point where it's like people paint this image in their head that isn't real, that didn't happen, because we have yet to get to there in the story, and then we get to that point and it doesn't happen, and they're like, dude, why didn't they do this? And it's like, they were never gonna do that. That was never the plan. You made that up. Like, just let it happen.
I mean,
and
it's
it's like, like, I don't know how else to, like, are you supposed to just like, I don't know. It's just like the idea that it's just like they just wanted them to go out there. It's like, I feel like people were just, did people want them to just go out there without a plan and then just like see who can like go back better? Like, see, because they think Cena, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's like, this is a story that is written. If we're just like, if this is just two guys going out there to insult each other, we're losing the plot. This isn't what that is.
Well,
like,
that's what I think the biggest thing is I don't think once we get the back and forth, like, I don't think, like, people are expecting John Cena to come out here with some jokes. Like,
And
it's
like,
not going to be that. Like,
yeah,
Cena's
no
not
pun
going to cook
intended.
Cody. He's not going to make fun of his tattoo. Like, he's just not going to go out there and do that. Like, they're both are just going to kind of, like, spit facts and say what they have to say, and it's going to be awesome. But it's like, we're not going to get babyface John Cena promo in a heel making fun of everybody. Like, it's just, that's not going to happen. This is heel John Cena.
He's not giving you what you want, man. Like, how... The sooner people get that through their heads, the less, I don't know, disappointed they will be. The more they can just enjoy the fact that we're getting a John Cena heel run and then stop, like, picking it apart and being like, oh, it's not happening the way I thought it was going to happen. Which is just weird. And this isn't a mass majority, and this is, I always like to just hate on the haters.
Sure.
So, but, I just, like, there was a few people I saw who were just like, that wasn't really it for me. Like, I saw, like, multiple, like, videos on, like, I saw a TikTok guy who was like, it was just missing something. Like, he was kind of whiny there, and I'm just like, yeah, man. Like, I don't know. Like, he wasn't supposed to be. He sold his soul to The Rock. That was a bitch-ass move. He didn't make some big, courageous move. He turned fucking heel. Like,
yeah,
what are we doing?
mean, yeah, just the biggest thing is be patient. And I think, like, after WrestleMania, once we have all of the promos and it's all said and done, and then you line up all of the promos, and you line up all the promos back to back to back, you'll be like, that was, like, this story was awesome, right? You're not going to put back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like, they're not going to do that. We're slow building up to WrestleMania. So
yeah, and yeah, like you said, like, this... I also think people are like, this isn't ending at WrestleMania. Like, this heel turn is going to...
Oh, yeah.
This heel run is going to continue. And it's like, I'm expecting it to not end with, like, I'm expecting the feud between Cody and Cena to not last 6 weeks in this build to Mania. I'm expecting it to go on past that. Whether it's, like, directly... involves, like, continuing the matches, but, like, they're gonna be involved in some way. This isn't just like, oh, someone goes over and then it's done. You know what I mean? Like, these interactions are going to continue for the rest of this John Cena retirement tour, to be honest. Like, this is...
He's heel for the rest of his career.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
You don't think he's turning back at the very end?
No.
I think he is.
But how?
I think it's like,
I don't think you can come back from this.
No, I think it's just like he lost his way and, like, I mean, dude, if he turns on The Rock, then he's babyface again. To, like, help Cody, he's babyface again. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's coming back from it. It's John Cena. There's coming back.
All right, we'll see. So,
I'm just like,
they're not,
we do. Anyway,
you go.
But yeah, let's just move to the... I was just going to say, I think it, like, goes... The heel turn goes for a while, and then it comes to a point where it's like... Maybe he's, like, worse off than he was before he made the heel turn. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll see.
We'll definitely have
retire
some episodes diving into that a little bit more as the months go on. But let's do a segment here, Dill, because we're back on the segments. We've got this one, and then we have another segment later in the episode that we will be doing. So if the Burning Hammer universe has any ideas for stuff they want to see us do, definitely drop a comment and let us know. So I asked AI to generate images of wrestlers, and we're going to see if Dylan can figure out who the wrestler is based off the AI generated image. If you're listening, you're going to want to head over to our YouTube channel and definitely watch it so you can see. So first up, Dylan, who do you think?
So is this like one person, or were you like, give me a wrestler that is the child of these two?
This is one person. I said, give me an image of WWE superstar, insert name.
This has to be Roman, right?
That is not Roman Reigns.
Interesting.
I will say these are all insanely hard. Like, not even. I'll throw you a little bone. There is no resemblance whatsoever from any of these images to the wrestler.
Seth Rollins?
I'll give you one more guess. No, Dylan. This is obviously John Cena.
What?
Oh man, if you guys
I
ever
feel like
needed
Roman
a little
Reigns
bit of
was the
reassurance that
guess.
AI's
Roman
not
Reigns
taking your
was
job,
the guess, for sure.
I mean, yeah,
No doubt.
it looks more like Roman Reigns.
Doesn't look like
than
Roman
John
Reigns,
Cena.
but if he's gonna look like anybody. Or
agreed.
Seth.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the
Jeez,
next
that's
one.
Insane. Oh my god, dude.
Who do you think this is?
Cody?
This is not Cody Rhodes.
Just like the
Again, whoever you think it
It's
looks
not.
like.
I didn't even
complete
think it
opposite.
looked like that person. It was more the like get up, the like golds and red, white, and blue
Sure.
type thing.
Very Cody Rhodes jacket-esque.
This guy doesn't look anything like Cody Rhodes. This guy's like Latino. This guy, I mean, Cody Rhodes, I guess, is Cuban,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, he is.
dude, Jey Uso.
It is not Jey Uso. Dylan, this is Mike the Miz Mizanin.
What, dude? AI is AI's not taking over. We're good. We're fine.
Yeah. We're good at least
We'll
for
be
a little
fine
while
for the rest
longer.
of our lives, I think, at least.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Who do you
All
think
right,
this is?
So we know this looks like somebody, obviously, right?
Sure.
And it's not that person.
No.
Io Sky.
Is not Io
All
Sky.
right, so I'll just go with, it looks like Liv Morgan. The guess is Liv Morgan, obviously.
Sure. Yeah.
Who is
No.
it, though? I'm not going to get any of
This. It's obviously Rhea Ripley.
That looks like Liv Morgan.
Looks
I
nothing
think
like
they
Rhea
just
Ripley.
Google search like a female WWE superstar and just pick a random one.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't even
This
tell
is
you.
insane.
But let's move on.
It's just
This
random.
is crazy. Let's move on. It is. So let's move on to the next one. Who is this handsome fella?
Kind of looks like Ryan Nemeth.
Quite the jawline.
Doesn't it kind of?
It does. It does kind of look like Ryan. Nemeth.
I don't know.
Monday Night Raw superstar.
Seth Rollins.
No.
CM Punk.
No. Dylan? This is AJ Styles, the phenomenal one.
Why are they all like in space? Why are all these pro wrestlers?
I don't know. They all...
Star Wars or Star Trek characters. It's so crazy.
Dude, could not tell you. They all have this same exact theme, which I guess is fine, but they're not what they're supposed to be.
So
and then,
insane.
last one, Dylan.
Okay.
Who is this?
So, I think a great guess on who this actually looks like is Ivy Nile. I think is a great guess.
Okay.
It also,
I thought it kind of looked like
I see
Natalia.
that it could also potentially be Jordan Grace.
Sure.
I'm gonna go out and
Think
say
opposite.
Bailey. Yeah.
Yes! It's Bailey!
I just
Yes!
guessed a red. That's so
Wow!
Let's go. I just guessed
Wow.
somebody random.
That's
For those of you
insane.
listening, this is not this.
You gotta
this
look
looks-
at him. You gotta
looks
go
nothing
to our
like Bailey.
YouTube and
This
look
looks
at
nothing
these.
like Bailey.
Could not look more opposite.
Think opposite of Bailey.
Gotta go
Think
to the
Ivy
YouTube.
Nile, Jordan Grace, Natalia. That's not Bailey. That's so insane.
No.
It's kind of
not.
offensive.
And listen, 1 for 5. 1 for 5 is pretty good based off these images.
I mean, it
Dylan.
was
I'll let
truly
you
a
know.
random guess. I was just like, who's someone who's like not that short? I was like, dark hair, like so insane.
Yeah.
Bailey has never had that color hair or hair that long in her entire career.
Yeah. I know. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. So you guys
Never
let
worn
us know
gear
your
like
thoughts
that
on this
her
segment.
entire
Let us
career.
know how Dylan did.
Pretty sure she doesn't have blue eyes.
We got another segment.
Just crazy stuff here. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so we got another segment coming your ways in a little bit, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
But Dylan, man, we got another big title
crazy,
change.
Man. Another one. Wow.
I mean, dude, Triple H is a madman. That's 3 within the past.
I mean,
couple
it
of
was
weeks
back
on the road to
back
WrestleMania.
back, wasn't it? With a Raw in between.
In terms of episodes,
It was because the first one happened on Raw. It went EO, and then it went LA
SmackDown.
Night, and then it went Raw, and then SmackDown the next week. Street Profits.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Very crazy, man.
I mean, yeah, but
yeah, Street
Again,
Profits.
you talk about a team that absolutely
man.
deserves it. 4 years. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
It's
way
it was
too
crazy,
long.
but they're awesome.
For the titles to not be on the Street Profits, and they absolutely deserve the titles back on them. I've seen a couple. Overall, I've seen people seem to be happy with this tag team division. One complaint I've seen is that people just think that it's kind of a cop out in the way of just throwing the titles around and to build a story, and kind of like they're not really building a proper story, I guess is the idea. I've seen only a few people say this. I think
Okay.
the idea that we're getting all these talented tag teams showcased on a regular basis is the main thing we need to be focused on, right? Like, I understand the idea of short title reigns are never that fun. But in this instance, especially in the Street Profits instance, I mean, they haven't had the titles in 4 years. Such a feel-good win. In my opinion, it was absolutely like, could they not have done it and it would have been fine? Yeah. And maybe they could have waited till Mania to do it? Yeah. But at the same time, this can kind of be a transition to the next, but it really feels like we're going to be getting a ladder match at WrestleMania, multi-team ladder match at WrestleMania.
Agreed.
I wouldn't be surprised if this became a tradition for one of the tag team belts, or just the tag teams in general, or at least for WrestleMania in general, to kind of become a tradition again of having a multi-team ladder match on the card, which nobody would argue against that, right? Gets people on the card.
I mean, if you argue against it, you just don't like
it gets
tag
a lot
team
more
wrestling.
people on the card, and not even just for tag teams, but like just the idea of having the multi-person ladder match on the WrestleMania card. It's happening. Like, just the idea of, okay, we know it's happening. Like, imagine how cool would it be if they established that in WrestleMania. They're like, every year there's going to be a multi-person ladder match for one of the championship belts. And every year, like, we will determine, like what belt that will be. You know what I mean? So then it's like, you can almost play on, I don't know, like, imagine, like, Chelsea Green right now begging Nick Aldis regularly to not put her in. She's like, you cannot have me defend my title in the multi-person ladder match. I deserve a one-on-one match. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that would just be hilarious. And even if they don't announce it like that, even if it's just a thing that we know, it's kind of the tradition that comes back every year, so it's going to be there in some sort of fashion. It's kind of like the unwritten tradition. Nobody's going to complain about that either because, one, they're super fun. Two, gets way more people on the WrestleMania card.
Agreed. And going back to like what you said about the short title reigns, like they aren't great, but when your favorite wrestler or teams are winning, then it's awesome. You know, you got Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, like Street Profits. Like once you have these teams that you like and that are deserving win it, then you feel good because you're pumped because all these awesome teams and wrestlers.
Yeah, I think a big thing with it too, man, is that people gotta,
but also chill out with the short title runs.
Yeah, I understand that. But this is another thing I feel like people have to notice, man, and people got to take into consideration. This tag team division has been essentially dead for a long time. And that has nothing to do with the tag teams. It's essentially been dead in the way it's been booked. There has been little to no thought, it feels, when it comes to the tag team division in recent years. And if one thing is for sure, when it's awesome to have let's say the Motor City Machine Guns have had the titles this whole time, right? Or DIY didn't ever lose them to Motor City back originally, right? Or whatever, you know what I mean? If that establishes a tag team, absolutely, like as a star tag team in WWE and establishes the titles more, but it's kind of, it doesn't establish the entire tag team division as much as I think this did. Does that make sense? Like I think the point of this was the tag team division has not been very good as far as its booking and its the way it's been perceived and stuff like that. So I think the biggest part of going into this is also we're having a multi-team. We're probably going to get a multi-team ladder match or multi-team match of some sort, right? But it's also going to be between teams who have been prominently featured on SmackDown in the build-up to this and the months before this, right? Like, this isn't, like, a lot of times these matches are just random people thrown in, and you know what I mean? Like, it's just to throw people on the card. So I think that's something that people may have to think about when it comes to this is, I understand the titles hopping around and stuff like that and all this, but before this all started, right? Let's say it starts with the titles going to Motor City Machine Guns and then eventually DIY turning heel, right? And then getting them back. It's like DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, Street Profits, Los Garzas, and Pretty Deadly are all more legit contenders and in better standing now than they were 2 months ago. You know what I mean? Like, because it's I feel like it's easy to have a multi-team ladder match and then everybody know that it's really just between Motor City and the Street Profits or DIY and the Street Profits, or you know what I mean? And then it's other teams are just thrown in. But the idea that these are a bunch of teams that have been prominently featured, and in my head, like Pretty Deadly's the contenders. So now we've had Machine Guns, DIY, and Street Profits have all held the titles recently. Plus, Pretty Deadly got a big win over DIY, right? I think it was to be number one contenders, or it might have been Motor City.
No. I think it was Los Garzos. Or was it
It was the triple threat. Maybe. Yeah, it was a triple threat. We were there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we were.
Yeah,
forget that.
But yeah, I just think I've been rambling kind of, but I understand the short title reigns, but what I'm really trying to say is that I think in this situation, I think it did its job in establishing 5 credible teams in the tag team division now, rather than, okay, we had a long title reign, but it was just one team that's just beating a bunch of teams. Like, and then it's like kind of the same thing. It's like, I don't know, like we had the, like the Usos kind of had the titles hostage for so long, you know what I mean? And it feels like, not that they don't have much of a choice, but it feels like there isn't, if they want to get this tag team division established with a lot of teams in a short amount of time. Does that make sense? And it feels like, and that's on them.
Yeah.
Also, like they've had more time. Like they could have been doing this since last WrestleMania. I mean, they kind of have. I mean, that's when they split the titles.
Yeah, I think
last WrestleMania.
SmackDown going to 3 hours was a huge help. And I think like once that happened, they were like, tag team division is featured every week. But I'm gonna
say this right now, dude. Shout out to Road Dogg. This tag team division, in my opinion, the SmackDown writing, has been pretty sick over these last couple months. Since he kind of took over, if you've seen, like, we kind of got the Jade storyline kind of coming to a head, and the tag team division has looked pretty sick. LA Knight gets the title back. So we got some fun stuff brewing in my head.
And I'll say this too, Dylan. Going back to what you said about it not being a properly booked story, that's just wrong. I don't know how else to say it. Like, it's because you just don't know what the story is. The story in the tag team division on Friday Night SmackDown is that it's chaos. Anything can happen. They have legit contenders for the title.
Exactly.
Any given night, the team who are the champs can drop the titles. That is the story.
And they've established that, right?
We're not getting the same thing
like,
on Monday Night Raw, or
that's hard to
thing.
That's hard to establish, in my opinion. Like they've got like I said,
well, it's the lack of super dominant teams.
Exactly.
Like it feels like for the past 10 years, it's just the New Day and the Usos who have been predominantly the guys. But now it's like, all right, well, now we got some other teams in the mix that we don't have any 9-time, 10-time tag team champs.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's like an equal playing field for the most part. So
I'm loving the tag team
and
division
obviously,
on SmackDown,
like I understand.
Man. If I'm being honest, tag team division lately has been
it's awesome.
Potentially my favorite part of SmackDown as of late. Man. I've really enjoyed
it's
the
great.
tag
They're
team
putting
division.
on bangers. So, I mean, yeah, it feels like I would guess a ladder match.
Yeah, that's what it feels like between the 5 teams, right? I mean, when we were there on SmackDown, Nick Aldis drew it out on the whiteboard for us with the 5 teams.
I feel like we're getting one more team, though.
And who would that be?
Yeah. Tama and Tonga.
I can get behind that.
Barring Tonga's good to go from his injury.
I can get behind that.
But I don't know. 5-team ladder match?
I mean, I get it. But it's also like 10 people. When it's teams, it's 10 people. It's like, that's still a lot of people.
Yeah. And, like, they won't throw anybody in there that doesn't deserve it.
No, especially with the way, if
they're
they
not
were
going to put,
like,
Melo Don't Miz isn't going to be in that match.
No.
You know what I mean?
I think they've been putting,
like, but Tama and Tonga, like, can easily get in that match
because they were
and have
champs.
it make sense.
And I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that's probably the only team that can.
Agreed. Like if they're going to do 6, it'll be them. So yeah, you guys let us know in the comments. Like what do you think this SmackDown, the WWE tag title picture is going to look like for WrestleMania? So Dylan, what do you say we get into this last segment and then we'll finish up talking about the Rhea Ripley segment and then we'll get on out of here. All right. So again, we have another AI situation here, but this one was a little more fun, and I thought this one they did a better job. And I used a different AI for this one than the last one. So basically what I did was I came up with a very broad idea for a wrestler. And I said, give me an entire character based off of this gimmick. And then they gave me one heck of a breakdown here, Dylan. So for this one, again, you got to be watching. This one, Dylan, I said, give me an entire gimmick for a magician. So this, Dylan, this fella right here is named The Mysterio. He is going to be a heel wrestler. And so for his entrance, the arena lights dim and dramatic suspenseful music plays. Smoke fills the entrance ramp, and Mysterio appears seemingly out of nowhere. He could have a bunch of different props. He could have a large ornate box that he teleports out of on the entranceway. He can have a mirror that shatters that he could also appear behind. Or he could even appear in the ring already, as if by magic, while the focus is somewhere else. And then for his entrance gear, we've got, it's quite elaborate. You got a flashy robe or a jacket adorned with sequins, mirrors, and mystical symbols, i.e. stars, moons, and eyes. He might wear a mask, either a traditional magician's mask or something more Lucha Libre inspired, but with a magical flair. So that's what he'll be wearing out to the ring. You've got his ring attire is going to be stylish and flamboyant. Think a cross between a classic magician's outfit and traditional wrestling gear. And then Dylan, his wrestling style, that's a combination of high-flying lucha libre, technical wrestling, and theatrics. Obviously, he will be including magic elements into his moves, quick, unexpected dodges and reversals that makes it seem like he just disappears out of nowhere, and he'll have flashy arm drags and submissions that look like illusions. And then for his signature moves, you have the Vanishing Act. You have a very fast series of dodges and counters ending with a surprise roll-up pin. You have the Illusion Slam, a modified DDT or pile driver with a dramatic flourish. And then you have the Mystic Lock, a unique submission hold that looks complex and inescapable. So then he will speak very dramatic and theatrically. And his catchphrases, they gave me two. It could be, now you see me, now you don't. Classic. Or it could be, it's not magic, it's Mysterio.
I like that one.
So Dylan, what do you think you think the Mysterio could get? You think is a good idea for a gimmick for a wrestler?
I think we could get behind the Mysterio. Might have some copyright infringement with Rey Mysterio, especially if we're doing some Lucha Libre stuff. But I'm liking this guy, the Mysterio. But me personally, when it comes to magic gimmicks, I am a Mystical Man Mike Casper guy myself. That is when if I'm talking a magic gimmick, I prefer the mystical Man Mike Casper.
I mean, yeah, if you know, you know. So that's also what gave me the idea for this. So let's move on to the next one here, Dylan. What do you think about this guy?
Is this a caveman gimmick?
This is a caveman gimmick, Dylan.
Looks pretty sick.
This is, so the gimmick is called the Primal Punisher. This guy's going to be a tweener with the ring name Crag. So for his entrance, the arena lights dim and primal drum beats and roaring sounds fill the arena. Smoke or fog effects create a prehistoric atmosphere. He emerges from a cave entrance. Obviously, he might drag a large bone or a roughly hewn club to the ring. Can also double as a weapon. And then his entrance attire is going to be minimal. It's going to be a ragged loincloth made of animal hide, crude face paint or body paint with tribal patterns. You can do bone or stone jewelry. Then you can do long, unkempt hair and a wild beard. And then for his, obviously you could see his ring attire here, looking pretty
Fred
sick.
Flintstone-y.
And then little Fred Flintstone, and then we got some signature moves here, Dill. You got the Stone Age Slam, a powerful slam like a power bomb or a modified rock bottom. You have the Bone Crusher, a submission hold that looks like he's crushing his opponent's bones, a modified armbar or a bear hug, and this is word for word from the AI. And then you have the Primal Pounce, a running spear or clothesline, Dylan. And then for his mic work, limited speech, because he's a caveman. He communicates through gestures, roars, and occasional broken sentences, or he could have a manager who translates, explaining what his he could have a Paul Heyman guy. So what do you think about the Primal Punisher Craig here, Dill? We're getting behind this?
The Primal Punisher Craig. I think this would get over extremely well
this guy's
in
jacked.
NXT for some reason.
Oh, it would.
Dude,
crush.
Craig would be awesome. A guy who just couldn't talk and was just like, booga booga, booga booga. Yeah. Yeah, that would be pretty sick. I like it.
Thanks. Again, you guys can let us know in the comments what you guys think about these wrestlers. If you think it would work and if you think it's a good idea. So let's move on to the next one here, Dylan.
The giant spoon is insane.
Yeah, so we have the culinary combatant is the gimmick idea with the ring name, the Main Course. He is going to be a heel. For his entrance, the arena fills with sounds of sizzling food and upbeat music. Could be anything from blues to some funk. He emerges from the back pushing a mobile kitchen station or a grill. They could be carrying a giant cooking utensil. As you see, we got a giant wooden spoon here. And then for his entrance gear, we've got a personalized chef's coat with their name or logo. You've got a tall chef's hat. You have an apron with various pockets for ingredients, which would be props. Then you have traditional kitchen shoes. And then for his ring attire, you can obviously see he's got the apron with like a quarter of a chef's coat and a big hat right there. So for his wrestling style, it's going to be a unique blend of wrestling and food preparation.
Nice.
He uses quick, precise movements like a chef handling knives. He incorporates throws and slams that resemble food preparation. For example, a meat tenderizer punch. And then he could use ingredients as part of his offense. Get a little paprika to the face, something like that. Maybe a little hot sauce.
I like that.
And then his signature moves, the Main Course. You got a devastating finishing move, often with a cooking-related name. Actually, we can call it the Deep Fryer or the Searing Suplex. You've got the Spice Rack Attack. A series of quick strikes. And then you have the Sauce Splash. You have a messy attack that leaves the opponent covered in a non-toxic substance. And then for his mic work, obviously delivering promos with the culinary flair, using food analogies, and then you have cooking terms. Also could be motivational or cutting, dependent on if he's heel or babyface, but we're going to go with a heel. Then he can even include cooking demonstrations or food-related props for his gimmick. Dylan, what do you think about the Main Course?
The Main Course versus Tony D'Angelo in a recipe for the grandmother's meat sauce. Yeah, we need
think
a
this guy
fight
could work?
for grandmother's meat sauce between the Main Course and Tony D'Angelo. Yeah, I think this guy could work for dependent on. It's all about getting the right guy to play him, right? So I just think the AI. It's insane to me that the AI can do this, but it can't just like make a picture that looks kind of like Roman Reigns, or like kind of like John Cena.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
This kind of looks like
initially
Braun
I
Breaker.
used the dude does a little bit, yeah. But like the one I used for this, I tried to use for the other one, but it like wouldn't allow me
interesting.
to get like
Oh
an image
yeah,
of
you
John
did say
Cena
it was a
because
different
of
AI
likeness.
That is interesting though. It's
It
interesting
is.
likeness though because then it has like the WWE logos and stuff in this one.
It does. Yeah. So then let's move on to the next one here, Dylan. We've got. Boom.
This looks
What do
like
you think
carrying
about this guy. Dylan, the gimmick is the Jazz Maestro. He's going to be a babyface wrestler called Smooth Operator.
Nice, I like it.
So, for his entrance, the arena lights dim to a cool blue and smooth jazz music fills the arena. He emerges, snapping his fingers and moving with a confident, rhythmic swagger. He could carry a saxophone or a trumpet or mime playing one. Obviously, his attire is going to be very flashy, a sharp suit in a bold color, a fedora. You can get a silk tie or a bow tie. You got two-tone shoes for his entrance. And then, obviously, we could see his wrestling gear here. You got some tights and boots with, looks like a piano, very colorful
I'm loving
stuff
this gear.
here.
I won't lie. This
and
gear
then
is pretty sick.
The pattern goes pretty hard. And so, for his wrestling style, Dylan, you got a fluid, graceful style, obviously incorporating elements of dance and showmanship. He's going to focus on agility, speed, and precision. Uses a lot of quick footwork, dodges, and reversals. And his moves are going to have a rhythmic quality to them. So let's get these signature moves here. You've got the Big Band Breakdown, a fast-paced series of strikes and maneuvers ending with a modified code breaker. You've got the Saxophone Smash. He uses his saxophone as a weapon.
Nice.
Obviously not if he's going to be a baby face. And then you have the Smooth Groove, a unique submission hold that looks like a dance move. And then his mic work speaks in smooth, rhythmic voice, often snapping his finger for emphasis. He uses a lot of wordplay, delivers cool and confident promos, whether he's a babyface or a heel. Dylan, we think Smooth Operator is going to work on WWE.
Not too bad. I'm thinking this is getting some inspiration from Smooth Jazz Fondue.
That's right.
Smooth Jazz Fondue
That's
is an incredible gimmick that we came up with here. So
Great
the
wrestler.
only thing I'm going to say is that I'm liking this, but I don't know how this guy would hold up against Smooth Jazz Fondue. What I will say is, though, Smooth Jazz Fondue may steal this guy's gear.
Yeah, if you throw this gear on Smooth Jazz Fondue,
Yeah, give him a bass guitar.
you got a wrestler.
Nice.
Big time. So, we got one more here, Dylan. Get a load of that. Not bad.
What's the gimmick?
You've got the gimmick is the artistic anarchist. This is a painter gimmick here. And his ring name is going to be the Maestro of Mayhem. Actually, we got a few options here, Dylan. I'll let you pick for this one. So you got the Maestro of Mayhem, you have the Color Killer, you have Painstorm, or the Abstract Assassin. Which one do you like of those? I think Color Killer is pretty good.
I don't hate any of them, to be honest. I thought like the Maestro of Mayhem was pretty good, as well as what was the last one again?
The last one was the Abstract
I don't think that
Assassin.
one's bad either.
So for his entrance, you got the arena lights
I like-
flash in a chaotic array of colors. Loud.
I like Painter
Which one you like?
Boy.
Painter Boy. We'll call him
All right.
Painter Boy. So You've got loud, jarring music plays like a discordant mix of industrial and classical. He emerges with a manic energy covered in paint splatters. He might carry a bucket of paint or a giant paintbrush as a prop. Um, his entrance attire is a disturbing take on artistic dress. He's got ripped and splattered clothing in various colors, a mask that resembles a distorted or melting face, and then he's got wild, messy hair that looks like it's been dipped in paint. And then for his gear, he kind of just has like a singlet with paint everywhere. For his wrestling style, you've got unpredictable and aggressive with a focus on inflicting pain and creating a spectacle. Incorporates chaotic and unorthodox moves. Uses the environment and props as a weapon, including paint. So, let's get to these signature moves. You've got the Color Blast, a messy attack that leaves his opponent covered in paint. You have the Art Attack, a devastating and visually dramatic finisher. And then you have the Canvas Crusher, a submission hold that contorts the opponent's body. And then for mic work, he delivers intense and disturbing promos, often ranting about the beauty of chaos. He uses a stream of consciousness style, jumping between ideas and images, and may create art on his opponents or the ring canvas during his promos. Dylan, what do you think about Painter Boy?
Pretty cool. I think this is my favorite one, actually.
Okay. Dylan likes the paint
I like
gimmick.
the idea of, like, it's kind of cool of him, like, painting a picture on somebody after he, like, beats them in a match. Mm-hmm. He just, like, pulls out paint and just, like, starts painting on them. Like, paints their face or something.
Yeah. I mean, this one, I think.
Yeah.
I think this
one
could
has
be a lot
the most
of fun.
potential,
I think
in my
they could do
opinion.
a ton of different
I
stuff
like this
with
one.
this.
We're going to have to. Maybe we'll.
All right.
Maybe we'll see where this one goes in the future of our wrestling.
This could be
company that we will want.
Burning Hammer Wrestling. We could see Painter Boy. Painter Boy could make a surprise debut for Burning Hammer Wrestling. So, Dylan, let's talk about this Rhea Ripley segment, because boy was it a segment. So we got the contract signing for Io Sky and Bianca Belair on Monday Night Raw, disrupted by Rhea Ripley. Basically, she just kicked the crap out of Bianca and Io. Then she signed the contract and then stole the contract. So what were your thoughts about this segment here, Dill?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was interesting. I don't love the way that it paints Rhea Ripley. I don't love the way that they went about it. But nonetheless, it's getting us to the match that we all want to see, which is this triple threat. So I think moving forward, I just think I would love it if Rhea Ripley... I don't love the blaming Bianca thing. I wish it was a lot more of like she's pissed at herself. But I think we're going to get that story as it really plays along.
Okay. I think so. I'm trying to like wait and see with this one, because if nothing else like crazy happens and she's in the match because she put her name on the contract, which I saw like happened before, but that feels kind of like weak to me to get her involved in this match. And just because like logistically they can just print a new contract and have Io and Bianca sign it. So it's like the idea of her just signing the contract and her being in the match, I don't love. But if it's a thing of like Adam Pearce is like, I don't know what to do, and Io's like, just put her in the match.
I hope it's
like,
not a thing where she's just in the match now because she signed the contract. I kind of don't think they will.
I don't think they will either.
I think it's just going to go with like I think Io and Bianca are going to be like, just put her in the damn match, like sort of thing.
Yeah. I think it just would have made more sense for them to do what I said they should have done within the last episode or two, which was just to have, like, it could be like you said, have Rhea just get mad at herself and blame herself instead of blaming Bianca, and then go to Io, just be like, listen, I gave you your rematch because I felt like I owed you one, like, you got to, and then have Io kind of feel bad and get her in the match that way instead of just, like, having Rhea force her name on the contract and then just being like, I'm in the match now. So if they like don't really address it, that would kind of, I wouldn't love it. And especially like, it is like a heel thing to do, to just go in there if you think about it and just beat the crap out of everybody else and then just sign your name to the contract. But also it's Rhea Ripley. I don't think there's anything she could do that would get the crowd to boo her. So it's fine. But I'm hoping we get a little more than her just signing her name on the contract and then just being involved, which I have faith that we are going to get some more stuff there.
They'll give us a better way to get her into the match.
Yeah, so you guys let us know. Looks like we are full force with that triple threat match, as if there was any doubts before this. But you got to make sure to follow us on all of our social media. On X, we're at The Burning Hammer. Everything else, we are at The Burning Hammer. You can listen to this at The Burning Hammer, wherever you listen to your podcast. And again, April 19th, South Jersey Geek Fest. Dog will be there. We will be there. Summerdale, we better see you there. So with that being said, I'm Mark Izzo. He's Dylan O'Brien. And this has been another episode of The Burning Hammer Podcast. We'll catch you next week.